activity, we're just going to try to make standing waves using this wave on string simulation in PhET, and you're just going to follow what I'm doing. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to click the slow motion. That way you can kind of track things a little bit easier. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have a fixed end, because the wave pulse that I send down that rope, I need it to reflect. Okay, but you see how that amplitude of that pulse is dying pretty quickly? That's because there's a lot of friction in that rope. So I want to take all that dampening, which is the friction between the particles, and bring it all the way down to none. All right, and if I change the tension, like you watched in the videos I showed before, tension is going to affect the speed of that pulse. So if I want the speed of that pulse to slow down, I can decrease the tension or increase the tension to make the speed go. Okay, that's definitely going to affect my ability to make standing waves. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to restart this. Okay, everything is all set the way I'd like it, and I'm going to move my tension to somewhere in the middle. And instead of manually doing this, I'm going to hit this button that says oscillate, and then that will set a nice clean oscillation with a fixed frequency. And if I create that frequency, which is written over here, let's see if that creates a standing wave on its own. Is it the right frequency for a standing wave? I'll know that if I see nodes. Do you see these nodes? Okay, now the amplitude's getting bigger because the waves keep overlapping, but if I see nodes, then I know I have the right frequency. Now this looks like it's not quite there. It's close, but it's not quite there. Maybe I have to adjust the frequency a little bit. So what I want you to do is play around with the frequency, maybe so it doesn't get way out of control, adjust the amplitude so that it's smaller. Okay, if I make a smaller amplitude, it might not start bouncing too crazy. And then you can adjust the frequency to change the standing wave pattern that you see. So the thing I'd like you to figure out, if you had the same settings that I do over here, is how can you adjust the frequency so that you can change the number of nodes. Okay, so how many right now? This is looking close. How many standing wave patterns? How many wavelengths can you fit on that standing wave? All right, so just play around and see what changing the tension does, what changing the frequency does to those standing wave patterns.